Hey guys, my name's Lou Taylor. I studied Bachelor of Communication Design at Billy Blue, and currently I'm a freelance designer.
Hey, I'm Michelle. I studied a Bachelor of Communication Design at Billy Blue as well. Now I'm currently a junior designer at Agency.
Hey guys, welcome to Virtual Open Day. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are, where me and Michelle are just going to have a little chat about how we got to where we are today.
So I've always been creative and I've always loved art, and I remember in high school I did textiles and I also did a subject called multimedia. Now I really wanted to be a fashion designer when I left school, but multimedia was more to do with filming and graphic design, and I actually really fell in love with that. And the thing that I love about graphic design is that I can use my creativity for something that's actually purposeful in society. So that actually led me to do graphic design later, and I chose not to do fashion, and I'm really happy with where I'm at now, and I love graphic design so much. There's so much you can get into and it's amazing.
So for me it was completely different. I started off as a sheet metal worker, so I actually have a trade in sheet metal, but that industry didn't work out too well for me, so I started looking for, I guess, a path that I was more, that was more for me. I always had a creative bone in me, and I heard about a design college called Billy Blue through a friend, and I pursued it. I started off with the fundamentals, so that was like the entry level before you begin an actual diploma or bachelor's, and that was where I decided I wanted to do communication as opposed to digital, and yeah, really fell in love with that.
So for one of our last subjects that both of us took actually in our last year was major project, and now in this subject the teachers actually took a D&AD brief and gave it to us and said, you can do this throughout the term and then you will actually be able to submit it at the end in this design competition. Now this is actually one of the first times I heard about D&AD.
Yeah.
Now D&AD is a global design committee, and they release a whole heap of briefs that designers can actually answer and submit into this design competition, and it's a global thing, so it was a pretty big deal. So yeah, the whole subject was based around one of the briefs that was chosen, so we chose the Virgin Atlantic brief.
Yeah.
And then an agency called Agency and a few other designers came and actually helped us and mentored us through. So the whole subject was really industry based. It got us connections with the industry, but also allowed us to do something that actually we could submit in the end, and that looks incredible on your resume. So we ended up continuing the brief after school, and we ended up working on it, and we worked really hard.
3-4 months.
3-4 months,
yeah.
and like that was after uni as well. And then we submitted it, and we waited a few months, and we found out that we actually won, which was incredible. And then you went to London and found out that the award we won was a yellow pencil, which for that brief was actually the best award that you could win. So we were like,
the highest
super
honors.
Shocked. Yeah, it was incredible to actually find out that we'd won something. I still think both of us can't actually fully believe it, because it's a global thing. Like, that's crazy.
Well, I will add too that when we started the brief, that we had designers come in and they talked up the yellow pencil so much. They were like, your careers are set if you win this. And little did we know we would ever even come close to winning one. But, you know, I guess you work hard towards it. Yeah.
And I know, like, both of us had a really good feeling about the project that we did as well. But I think it just goes to show, if you've got a good idea, just work hard and get it done and don't stop. And if you've got a really good idea, go with it and work really hard, because that's going to actually be fruitful in the end. So
when we got the brief handed to us, what it required for us to do was to make Virgin Atlantic to do flights and hotels combination so desirable that people would spontaneously book from it. We're both like naturally kind of humble people, and we didn't want to, you know, talk so big, but it was by the end we let ourselves go, and we're just like, man, we got this. we're winners, we're gonna get this. So yeah, you just get a good feeling about something, I suppose. When we first started, we had no idea how to approach such a thing. We ended up, what we did to solve that problem was find as many insights and ideas through the research that we did, which was probably a 4-week process, so a very long time. We ended up landing on the insight of women traveling solo, and that cause drove the rest of our project. We also coupled that with an idea of people wanting to share their experiences after they've traveled. People wanting to share their experiences after they've traveled, but not having any outlet to do so.
Do you want to say that?
We called it
Virgin Conquer. I feel like that's lame. Is that really
So
lame? So we ended up calling it Virgin Conquer. This idea of women actually conquering their travels, whether that's conquering a mountain or eating a whole pizza to yourself. We wanted to really embrace different ambitions of travel and different dreams. And we wanted to also give a website that was a platform for people to share their stories and actually encourage other women to do the same thing, because what's better than actually seeing other people do it? That's really an encouragement to do something.
People are often inspired by travelers and blogs and stuff like that, so we're essentially taking from that. And the social media movement, #conquered.
#conquer. So the visual identity really stemmed from that idea of empowering women and having something that was really bold and actually represented the idea of conquering. So we used these visuals of tears and stickers, so this idea of making your mark and tearing away things that people have said to you and actually rewriting your story and doing something different. So it was really powerful, and we really ran with that, and it was really exciting in the end. We created something that was quite bold and had a bit of attitude, actually. It was quite attitudey. I don't know what the word for that is.
We also introduced, obviously when you travel for your passport you get stamps, but it was also this kind of motion of stamping out the things that you want to conquer. And the journal was like a big aha moment as well. So to take a journal with you, to copy down your entire holiday, and to make it something that's made to be destroyed, not to be looked after and sit at home in a drawer. So
the Billy Blue experience is something that I really loved. You would grab your coffee, go into class, and the classes were really small, and I really loved this. And this is part of the reason why I chose Billy Blue, is that I knew the classes would be small and I'd actually get attention from the teacher. Often in uni there's big lectures and there's so many people, so it's not necessarily as easy to talk to your lecturer. So the really amazing thing about Billy Blue is that you've actually got small enough classes that the teacher has time with you and time to actually sit down with you and teach you things and answer questions that you have.
And as well as that, you kind of go through your entire degree with the same people, so you share the degree with your friends every year. Yeah, it's really cool. Well, so not only are the classes small and you have really great lecturers, those lecturers a lot of the time come from industry, and the uni is surrounded by industry connections, so we constantly had some kind of special opportunity to work with. Some of our lecturers own their own studios and can give you valuable knowledge and insights.
So there's a subject called work integrated learning in the last year of the Bachelor. You did designed a Mardi Gras float, so it was like an industry experience there.
Yeah, it was quite exciting.
But for mine, the work integrated learning was actually going to an internship. So I got accepted for an internship at an agency in Newcastle, and they were awesome. I had 3 weeks there of just full-time design, and it was incredible. I learnt so much. There's so much you can learn from actually working in the industry and being around designers every single day for a few weeks. You learn so much, and you can ask questions and actually watch what they're doing, and then they give you work to do as well. So it's a really good environment to actually experience what a studio would be like after uni.
And it doesn't really you can choose to do the internship or you can choose to take on a live brief, but all of it will give you valuable design experience.
So Billy Blue is an awesome place to go, and it has such a good reputation with studios.
Oh yeah.
It's Billy. If you say Billy Blue, then people know what it is. I was really drawn to going to Billy Blue because I knew that they would be so practical and we'd actually have hands-on assignments, and I think I was really drawn to that. I'm such a practical learner rather than a theoretical necessarily learner, so I was really excited to actually get into something that was really practical, and I knew I'd be making things every term, which is really exciting to me.
So any advice that I would give, so when I first started design, when I did the fundamentals course, I had didn't even have a computer. I didn't have a laptop. I don't know what I just thought I was getting into. So I hit the ground running, and I had to do all of that at school. But you learn, and you kind of, everything comes to you as you're studying. The teachers are very nurturing, so you're going to get the knowledge that you want. You learn design thinking and all the processes, all the design principles. So all of that will come to you as you study more and more. But you don't need to start off with that, not at all.
And even if you don't know any of the programs, which both of us didn't really know, like I touched on Photoshop a little bit, but that was it. I had no idea. You learn that, and you don't need to go into it knowing stuff already. It's so fine. Yeah. I think as well, my favorite thing about Billy Blue is the way that they teach you how to think and how to actually strategically come up with visuals that actually have a purpose for something. It's not just all about learning the programs and learning how to make pretty pictures. It's actually, how does this actually strategically come into the world, and what's the purpose behind what you're creating? And
to be honest, because you can learn stuff on Photoshop and Illustrator, on YouTube tutorials and stuff like that. But the design thinking is what's going to be like your real tool, so that's where Billy Blue,
and your point of difference as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, go to college, guys. So if you're thinking of picking it up on your own, and like, by all means, you can look at all the tutorials and stuff that's online on YouTube. That's perfectly acceptable, but the industry will be looking for something a little more. It's like,
rather than just skills in the programs, studios will actually want someone who can think and who can actually come up with concepts that have a strategy behind it. It's not enough to just know how to create something on Photoshop or in design.
You got to speak like the same language,
Yes, and you've got to know design. You can't just do design. You have to know it.
Yeah, but I mean, get a head start on tutorials and
stuff. And by all means, do both. If you're studying at Billy Blue, search up tutorials, find out how to do all these techniques and everything. Do both. But the really valuable thing about Billy Blue is that they teach you how to think, and how to think bigger in this world, and how to actually translate the world around us into something that you can actually see and you can actually experience.
So I think, my favorite project, outside of the winning project that me and Michelle both worked on, was a packaging design that I created called Doggo, and it was like dog food packaging, and it was just one of those ideas that I didn't realize how it was going to go together well, but it ended up really coming together well from my standpoint. So I came up with a dog food packaging that was like lightweight, portable. It was like really practical, so you didn't need utensils, and it was to encourage people to take their dogs on outings and stuff. So it was like this really gathering family kind of thing. That to me, that was like where the design thinking really came in.
And dogs are the best.
Dogs are the best.
Like
so
the sort of like most unique brief that I ever did at Billy Blue was a live brief, actually. Ogilvy Common Health came into our class and they gave us a brief of turning medical data around medicinal cannabis for young children with epilepsy, and turning it into a brand that actually could visualize and represent that data is something that was really easily understandable. It was a really challenging brief because it's medicine, right? It's a topic that a lot of us were sort of kind of learning about, and like I don't know, it was complicated, right?
It was very complicated. You're trying to, it feels like there was a lot of weight behind what you had to come up with, but
there was a lot of weight behind it. It was actually designing something that could actually benefit people's lives really significantly.
And I guess it also comes into like, once again, how these guys are like tied in with the industry. So we had our work presented at Vivid Live, which was also
awesome.
Awesome.
So cool.
Alright, that's enough from us, guys. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you got something out of today.
If you have any questions for us, follow the link in the chat for a live Q&A. Okay, let's do it.
Cut.
Yeah, so what's that?